you spell that? Good evening, all. To Friday. I'm gonna be heading back to Ragnarok Online, but I'm going to use a more offensive class I'd been working on. So let's have some fun. And VTuber, VTuber. And one like from Jace's thing. Thought I had actually gotten rid of those. Hey there, Omega. Welcome in. Do hope things are going alright. Apologies, I'm a wee bit late. Kind of realized what the temperature was and kind of realized I needed to set something up, otherwise I'd be a puddle instead of an ice cube tonight. But how goes things on your side? There. Oh no, the freezer defrosted. I mean, freezers have to defrost occasionally anyways, so realistically all that we're doing is letting it get its defrost cycle out of the way and then just refreeze everything that is there, just so that way it doesn't get, like, super sketchy. Oh, welcome, Izo. Thank you for the hat, and for the subsequent tennis ball that I'm sure didn't mean to knock the hat off. And thank you, Omega, for the liquids. I'll have to make sure to grab that in a moment. Do at least have it beside me, but I just want to make sure to get all the basic advertising shindig out of the way. But how is everybody tonight? Hopefully you're not melting. Let's see. I believe Solace is also a little bit preoccupied tonight. So we may see him later, we may not. We'll have to see. There we go. You woke up. Hey, all things considered, that's a fairly good thing to have happen, Omega. Sometimes you just kind of want to sleep forever. And Google automatically suggested me your link when I punched in Twitch. Solace needs to come back on his birthday. Well, I'm hoping that Solace is able to be available for his birthday at least, because we would like to make sure to bug him a little bit. But with work, I'm not 100% certain if that'll be possible. We're gonna have to see. Either way, I'm sure we'll be able to at least talk to Solace through Discord or something. Every single one of his birthdays. I mean, you're not wrong, Omega. Not at all. I'm sure Solace would like to celebrate his birthday more as well, but we may be taking it a wee bit far and not allowing him to enjoy the sanctity of the day. Alright, let's see here. This is still set up, right? Cool. Right, I had to do something on this character, so my health is just gone. Oops. And the buildup is real. The buildup is quite real. What was I doing before? I was hunting stuff. I was hunting things in a couple of places, actually. Huh. Mage in the ice dungeon. Oh yeah, right. Needs me to slay 30 of those and supposedly bring 30 ice cubes, but let's see. That was Rachel that I needed to go to for that. That's alright. And we've been training for this moment every single time we wished him a happy birthday. I mean, I'm sure one of these days he'll be fine listening to us on that regard, so Just give him some time, and then he'll get back to us. I also need these. 20. And then sell whatever I have, I guess? I can't sell those right now. Armor, insect, brigand. Okay, that's fine. Those go here. I gotta remember how I was actually playing this character before. Hey, the K. Welcome in. Hopefully the evening's running alright so far. We're just getting things started up, but how are things going on your side? A lot of folks apparently want me to get some of my coolant in tonight. Not a bad idea. It is around 25 degrees today. To be honest, I've been wishing him that too many times that it feels wrong wishing him for the real one. Well, it is something that you're going to have to come to terms with, Nano, considering it is Tuesday. And no, Solace, we generally have a joke for Solace where we just kind of wish him happy birthday every single day, but his birthday is actually next Tuesday, so we are going to be doing our best to celebrate that when the opportunity for it arises. But considering it is on Tuesday, we're not sure if he'll be readily available or not, if only because, work, and work tends to drain him next Tuesday. Yep, sorry, Izo. Better step on the gas pedal for that one. At least I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Furiously open CSP. Oh, you can do it, Izo. You can do it. I believe in you. And yeah, End of the Kingdom is going to be one of the big games this year for sure. I'm not sure when I'll at least get to playing it, but it is kind of in the back of my mind for now. Because I do like Legend of Zelda. I've played pretty much, not every single game, but I've played about, any, like 80% of them. I've missed a couple of the earlier ones, but other than that, I've tried to play all of them. Good. Have I missed anything? Wait, Izo's been streaming this Solace every night and no one's mentioned Solace's birthday? Yes, I think it has been mentioned, but I don't know if it's been directly said to Izo about when the birthday actually is, because we joke about it so much that it's admittedly kind of hard to remember. But that's kind of our own fault. You just added Tears of the Kingdom and those to block terms on Twitter. Probably a good idea, Izo. All things considered, at least. Oh, cool, there's Rachel. All things considered, we're probably going to have everybody talking about it. So there are going to be spoilers no matter where you go. I admittedly just check the mail. Okay. I usually am fine with spoilers just because I'm going to forget about it by the time I play the game anyways, but I don't encourage people to, like, discuss it until I've played it. Dude. There. I'll take that mail. Thank you. Airship's going to land in Rachel soon. Okay. Health should be in a relatively stable spot once we get there. Yeah, all things considered, the only... well, no, I won't talk about anything that I've heard just to be safe. But when it comes down to it, at least, I should at least play it sometime this year. Just not sure when. And whether or not I should do it, like, on stream or not. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it'll be a good replacement for one of our forever games, to be honest with you. Because Tears of the Kingdom does at least have an endpoint, but I guess that would mean I'd be ostracizing you from the streams, Ezo, if I'm doing that. And don't worry, Kay. Usually speaking, I don't try to go that route when it comes to the games and such. I don't mind if you do, but I try to avoid doing so. There's the portal. Come here. This is more so just a point of, even if I did have it right now, I do not necessarily have the time to. Oh, right, the angry bird people. I technically can kill them, but everything here is rather aggressive, so I would get mobbed a bit too quickly. Yeah, broken fuck Nintendo. That's fair. I don't have any arguments against that for now. I will just continue to reiterate my stance that I've tried to stop doing that going forward for anyone, really. Copywriting videos made on their games and not dropping prices. Well, they've been copyright striking Point Crow because they were modding the game. And they tend to just hate people using their music, which is admittedly petty for the music side of things, but... And I can't exactly 100% vouch for Point Crow's system, but it technically goes against their system? Yeah, I know. They striked, like, non-modded videos. That's them being petty. That I get. And there's really no defense for that. That's just Nintendo being petty because they modded his game and made it popular. And that's just going to encourage a whole slew of more people to mod the game. Like, people weren't originally going to be modding Nintendo games anyways. Because God forbid that some Nintendo games just need mods. Because some of them don't run that well. One more map. I also do find it mildly funny. The Desert Wolves were an early game mob before. Now they're like level 100. Oh, fuck. Now they're like level 100. And I really don't get why they did that rebalance. And thank you, Kay. It's not a bad topic to go over, but it is just one that gets done a lot. But at the very least, I can say, I hope you enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. And gets heated? Oh, no, it won't really get me heated. I just don't care. Like, that's just the simple truth. I just don't care about the argument anymore. There's so many things that get bounced back on both sides, and they tend to be redundant anyways, so it's just kind of okay. Cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair then. Yeah, we can move on from that for now. Oh, there's a mini-boss version of that. That's fine. Actually, there's a lot of Nintendo games I actually need to get to. Now that I'm thinking on it, at least. Because I know I've been collecting stuff for the Switch lately, if only because of the fact... Oh, there's a player. Okay. I've been collecting games for the Switch just because some of them are going to be hard to get your hands on physically. So I just try to make sure I can snatch them up when I can, because I just like having stuff on the shelf when I can. But I haven't found the best of times to actually play any of them yet. So they are just kind of sitting there collecting, not dust exactly, but they're sitting there just aging while I'm getting through other stuff on PC, which is a bit of an if, but we can always get back to it at some other point. There we go. Now I won't die instantaneously. particularly enjoying and won't say anything in the game other than it's only 17 gigs. I guess it is a Switch game, so that does at least make sense. I know the Switch games aren't like monumentally large for the most part, and the only big ones you're ever going to get are like the cloud version games, if I recall correctly. So things like the Hitman games, which I don't even know how the hell they got Hitman to even work on a cloud version for the Switch, but dude, Witcher is pretty big. Yeah. Witcher is huge. If I recall right, Cyberpunk 2077 is also decently large. What else is there? The COD games have been getting fairly large recently. Just a little bit funky, but can I actually kill that? Maybe. Hog Leg is coming to Switch? What exactly is Hog Leg? I'm assuming Pig Feet is not a game that I don't know about, or Hog Leg is meant for something. Oh, Hogwarts Legacy. Right. Sorry, that took a hot second to click. I also hate that Ragnarok Online eats all of your external keybinds. Well, I'm sure it'll get a slight resurgence of news when it does come out for Switch. I wonder how much they'll have to downscale it, though, because I remember Hogleg being a decently high fidelity game. I'm not saying that it can't be on Switch, but it's going to have to be nerfed a little bit for it to actually work. Dude. And then Witcher 3 is 28 gig on Switch. Sounds about right. They probably lowered some settings just to make it work, but certainly not a bad thing. This is what I get for building half and half, isn't it? Yeah. Next life, I'm going to have to just sit in one or the other. There we go. It's native, though. I mean, when it comes to The Witcher, at least, I don't know the most about it just because I haven't played it, but I've at least, like, looked into it. And if you just kind of tone down a lot of the visual stuff for it, just so that way it's running at, like, low 720p, high 360p, then I could see it running on Switch. Like, it's not going to look perfect, but it'll run on it. And yeah, Witcher is drop dead gorgeous. The huge map is less of a concern just because we've seen things like Breath of the Wild obviously come out. So the Nintendo at least is not optimizing for it, but the Switch can handle it as long as you don't just completely fuck yourself over when you're building stuff. So I guess the Witcher team, when they needed to actually work on porting stuff to the Switch, it kind of just did its best to make it work. I have to assume that there's a fairly heavy visual downgrade, and I honestly will probably check that after this stream just to see, because someone has to have a comparison video on it. Because conceptually speaking, there's no way they could have just taken the game and put it to Switch. It needed work to get there. And I'm not just going to trust some arbitrary news source thinking that, oh, hey, yeah, they just, put it on Switch. No big deal. Yeah. So they would have, it wouldn't be running the native 1080p that you would get on the PC copy. That much I at least know. But I'm wondering how much they would have to downscale something like that just to make it work. Oh, you did lie? Whoops. You're not allowed to do that, Kay. We're on the internet. You can't lie on the internet. That gets you in trouble. Oh, fuck. That thing can't attack from range. There we go. Turn 60 on PC? Sounds about right, actually. We're talking about Witcher 3, right? Hmm. You think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and lie? I know, right, Izo? What kind of a world do we live in where people lie on the internet? Anyways, I do have some liquid nitrogen I need to remove from my chest, so someone's gonna need to remind me at break time for that. Base game was 32, and then DLC at another 28 or so. That's not too bad. Okay, thanks for clarification, Izo. I kind of figured it wasn't like a clean 60, but 60 is a good like benchmark just for guessing where stuff sits. With DLC newest update that just overhauled everything, even the combat stuff, it rounds up to 60. That's not bad in all honesty. Especially when, and I think Nikki is the best person to ask about this, but the newest Call of Duty games are around like 120 to 160 gigabytes, if not like significantly higher. Yeah. Admittedly, with the newer CODs getting that big, I'm not sure exactly what it's going towards, but they're at least trying to sell the game as being like big and important and such, where you have to make sure that you're paying up the ass for storage space and RAM and tech to actually make stuff work in the first place. 84.31 for Modern Warfare. Ugh. Yeah, that's a bit too much for my blood. I've got enough bigger things installed where I realistically shouldn't be getting the huge games like that. Not that I have the muscle memory to actually play Call of Duty anymore. I think. Didn't play it much in the past, but I was always, there for Twitch shooters, although I was still a sniper player anyways, so Twitch shooting was not actually the benefit. Let's see, that's the newest one with all the modes, 40 gigs or so, with just single and multiplayer. I'm kind of waiting for the days where they try and do a specific marketing campaign with the Call of Duty games. And I think this has been joked about before, but if they tried selling single player and multiplayer separately and seeing how successful that would actually be. Yeah, no Warzone or co-op. Ugh. Yeah, no Warzone, no co-op is definitely a little bit. Oh, have they done it already? Oh, okay. You can tell how much I'm paying attention to it lately. No multiplayer, people are fuming. Admittedly, I probably would have been one of the people who just bought the single player. Because I remember, at least back in the day, back on PS2, I believe, I was playing Call of Duty World at War for, just the single player. I never bothered doing multiplayer or anything with that. But I had some fun with single player Call of Duties. They were silly. Now, pre 2008? Hmm, not sure. I remember just playing on ones on PS2. Oh, whoops. Hand was off. Also, be glad that I'm not showing this as desktop, by the way. I am alt-tabbing every single time I need to do an emoticon and hair change color, and I can assure you that does get incredibly frustrating. Thankfully, this does just get a little bit easier while doing MMO stuff because I can actually alt-tab and get stuff done. Silence? You rude little bastard. Does she mean World at War Final Fronts? Am I getting the name wrong? Call of Duty PS2. Yes, actually. Although I don't remember Final Fronts being a subtitle for it. I don't know if World at War was PS3. Hmm. I'll have to see if I still have my copies of the Call of Duty games. I feel like those would have been ones I got rid of, but I do still have a majority of my PS2 collection, so maybe I still got it. I'll have to check when I have some time. Yeah, I at least remember playing mostly Call of Duty games on PS2 and Xbox 360, I believe. But I only did single player stuff, so I never really bothered much with trying to do LAN parties or connect to the interwebs to try and shoot other people across the globe. And I had fun with those at least. I think that's partly why I actually care more about the Sniper Elite games lately than just regular Call of Duty games, to be honest with you. But sometimes a nice single player adventure with shooting stuff tends to be enjoyable. I was a Medal of Honor guy back in the PS1 2 area. Oh, there we go. Good timing. Played Medal of Honor Frontier for PS2 the other month. I do technically have what I need to stream my PS2, so I'll have to see what we have, but I believe I actually have Radiant Historia, just to completely side tangent the conversation, but really old Square RPG that was just kind of stuck on PS2, and then I believe that they remade it for Game Boy Advance or DS. And what one's that, Kay? Because I know there's a lot that's Sony only, but... Hi there, Nizbot. You're allowed to sit if you want. I do at least have a charging table available for robots. Not many, but I can at least house a couple. Oh, Odin Sphere. Yeah. Obvious bias point out of the way. I will kill people in order to play Vanillaware games. I have made sure to try and collect as many of them as I can, and I believe the only ones that I am missing around this point are the original Grim Grimoire for PS2, 13 Sentinels because I've been too lazy to buy it, and it's still available relatively easily. And I think that's it. But when it comes to Life Thricer, that probably would be a good one for me to stream, because I've only played the original PS2 copy of Odin Sphere. So I don't actually know of all the changes they've done when they remastered that for the modern era. But it's definitely up there. I know one that I'm admittedly waiting on, but I'm pretty sure we're never going to get it, is I want them to remaster Muramasa. That game was on Wii and PS Vita. That game was fantastic, and it's just been completely shafted by whatever consoles they've had it on. It would do well, though. Like, Vanillaware stuff would do well, and traditional Japanese storytelling from a generally traditional Japanese company goes over well. And just not many people got to play it because it was Wii, and that they remastered it for Vita, which is a shame. Shoot. Although, another game series that I would recommend that may be a little bit less known, maybe? I'm not actually sure. Isa, you can slap me if it isn't. But the Gravity Rush games, those ones are fun. Not very good for people with motion sickness, but the games are fun. Not very long either, though. I think you could realistically do 1 and 2 just over the weekend or something. Also, you're an aggressive monster. Why aren't you attacking me? Huh. Okay. Okay, now you will not. I'm fighting something. Okay, you're a weird one, little hyena bro. That's fine. And then you're having trouble getting a PS4 controller? Hmm. Would a PS4 controller actually be hard to get nowadays? Hmm. Might actually put my PlayStation on sometime next week in my no stream free time and just play that with the 8-bit DO. Oh, right, those are the homebrew controllers that usually work on multiple systems. I think Lemma talks about those a lot, but I haven't really gotten into getting one myself, just because I'm generally fine with just a 360 pad that I can grab. And yeah, you don't have the money, which is fine. Dude, 8-bit does an adapter that allows any controller that is Bluetooth. And I generally only have wired controllers, so that would not necessarily help me out the most. Noted. Thank you. Oh, I'm also realizing I don't actually need to kill anymore for the moment. I think the quest marker is incomplete, and it only wants me to kill 30 more of them. What do you say, humble NPC? Do I have to collect 30 ice cubes? Because their drop rate is awful. Damn it. What's the drop rate on those things again? What is it called? Shiroma. Ragnarok Online Shiroma. Let's see here. They want me to collect 30 of those, but they've only got a 5% drop rate. And at least when it comes to this server, that'd be 1.5. So 7.5% drop rate? That's not good. Shiroma. Hmm. I believe there's a more guaranteed way to get the ice cubes from them, but it's not from killing them, it's from killing their older brothers. Or the icicles. Or MVPs, which is not a great solution for that. Two guaranteed, 15 on the 4th floor. A lot on the 3rd floor. Hmm. Okay, so I do need to get the items then, which is kinda bad. Wow, it put me right where I needed to. Okay, thank you. That can see me still? Rude little bastard. Let's see, the only ones that don't work if I recall right is the PS5, just because the PlayStation put a heavy block. Oops. Unworking. Oh, jeez. Rude. Grab that just in case I get killed again. Let's see. Recall rate is the PS5 controller because the PlayStation put a heavy block on that working for PS4. Well, I guess in what way? Like, would it recognize the PS5 controller through the 8-bit though? You guys only have a 10% chance of dropping these two, don't you? Eh, bad. Don't murder. I'm supposed to murder you. It shows it in the Bluetooth list, but no inputs actually work. Hmm. I wonder if it just recognizes it as a slightly broken PS4 controller at that rate. Because that seems weird that it would not... There we go. Wouldn't actually recognize a controller from a future family. Hey, little guy, I need your older brother. That I realistically shouldn't be fighting either. 8-bit though, no idea if it works. I get confused and the device list shows it, but it doesn't work. Hmm. I guess it wouldn't hurt to try with the 8-bit dough just to see. Because, I mean, if it allows you to get access to your PS4 stuff again, then I don't see why not. Oh, weird. Actually showed that as fightable. We'll find out next week sometime. Oof. Let's see. Chock-a-block this weekend. Chock-a-block. A chocolate-based event? Is that something I can attend? Oh, Jesus, it's a lot of them. Okay, thank you. I need those so badly. Oh, a saying for busy as fuck. Okay, that makes more sense. I was trying to think for a second. It's like chock-a-block. What could chock-a-block be related to? Is it food? Can I be the glutton for once? Oh well. Well, hopefully speaking, the weekend's not too rough on you. Forget not everyone knows what I mean with things. Yeah, it happens. At least when it comes to, not traditional, when it comes to local slang terms, it does get a little bit hectic, at least. Just trying to make sure everything lines up. Because I know when Canadians talk about toques, there's like a 40% chance that Americans just get confused as to whatever the fuck you're talking about. Oh, I'm so dead, aren't I? There is some other Canadian slang, but I don't keep it to memory very much since I don't talk to too other many Canadians. So it gets to be a little bit confusing when you start just slinging in local slang terms. Hey, little dude. Let's see here. Those icicles seem to be the best. Oh, God, right. Hey, buddy. I'm pretty sure you can't see me while I'm invisible, right? Cool. Yeah, the Ice Titan. That probably would get me what I'd need. It's aggro, right? Yeah. Hmm. Worth a shot. Oh boy, yeah, I can't hit this at all. Oh god. Nope. Oh. Illusion stone research? That's a weird place to plop an NPC, but okay. Now, where are more of those icicles? Because I would very much appreciate murdering those. That's different. Hoot. This must be a special entrance to a dungeon or the MVP. Oh well, not my problem. I'm just here looking for ice. You know, as a freezer properly should be doing on their days off. That's unfortunate. Um, how could I get rid of you? I guess I should just murder it normally. Shoot. And thank you, Mega. So where is my backstab? Because I need it for that. Because getting stunned off that is kind of annoying. I don't actually have it on my hotbar, do I? Do. Backslide. I'll put that over detoxify for now, because I won't need it immediately. There we go. Then you. Lovely. 3 more. Let's see here. I need 30 of them? Oh, I'm actually close. Cool. And then I don't have anything else, so I am going to have to figure out what exactly the game means by getting milk and meat. Because those aren't items that drop in this area, I don't think. Also, are you the guy I need to deliver this necklace to? Hey, buddy. Let's see. No, you are not the NPC that I need. And ask Maheho to restore its luster. You're not Maheho, right? No, you're unnamed. Okay. Wonder if it's the guy that's actually standing outside of the dungeon. That would definitely make things easier. Oh, icicles, where are you? Fuck, right, you can actually see me through illusion. I'm gonna bring you over here. Hi. Come on. Follow me. Get into this corridor where nothing else will aggro me. Damn it. There we go. Am I seriously almost out of potions already? Oh god, I am. That isn't good. Can I get lucky with you? Because I only need a couple more of these. Nope. That one didn't even drop any. Rude. Alright, well, I guess I should figure out where I'm getting this other stuff. 30 ice cubic. I can't actually see what you need, and they don't list it here. Well, that's not good. There. Only need 2 more of those. Nope. You, sir, can go the hell away, because I would like to heal. Never mind, I will go away. I will very much go away. Damn it. Little gnarly bastards. Let's see. What else would we be playing in the future, actually? Because eventually I'll get to Tears of the Kingdom. I picked up a couple other things for Switch too. What were those? The Grim Grimoire remaster I've picked up, which I've never actually played Grim Grimoire since I never had the PS2 copy, but that's Sasquatch from Darkstalkers. I mean, no, I think this came out. Actually, no, this part would have come after Darkstalkers, and I think about it. Who knows? Maybe they did rip off Capcom. I'm not going to put it past Gravity. They are a Korean company. They don't have to hold up to American copyright. Capcom fan art in their free-to-play MMO. I'm sure that would go over swimmingly. Jesus, hi. Would you like to go away there, bud? I think I can even... Well, no, I can outrun him. Thank you, speed boost while along walls. Is there anything Capcom related I actually need to play? Fuck. You know what? I'll take that. I don't think there's anything Capcom related that I need to play right now. In Street Fighter 6. Omega, I haven't actually played any of the Street Fighter games. And I think I did mention this the last time as well, but I'm kind of in a head-focused space of just trying to learn Soku. So trying to learn Street Fighter on top of that is going to be a little bit rough. There we go. This will also let me just ask the guy what I need. But I do at least want to... Frank's going to be reaching out to you sometime. How is he now? Well, I mean, I do recommend... Well, not recommend. Definitely don't mind it when folks just reach out to chat. There we go. That's about as much health as I'm getting from potions. Is Frank wanting to try setting up for the Soku matches, or you're going to play it for the character creator? That's understandable, because at least when it comes down to it, I've heard the character creator lets you do a lot. One sweet sauce and one milk. Alright, milk is decently easy, but sweet sauce? Item, sweet sauce. You can't even get sweet sauce in Rachel. God, when they rebalanced some of these, they did not pay attention to the quests at all. Where can I get milk? That's more common, but can I even get that in Rachel? Nope, also not in Rachel. That's cool. Ugh. He might be waiting for the idle tourney to end. And Frank has been in the lab with Tenshi. Okay. He had mentioned before that Frank seems to like Tenshi a good bit. Oh, fuck. Suspicious, man. I can't talk to you invisibly, can I? Oh, I can. And he's also not who I need to talk to. Also, I might suggest going full Canada if you play Frank, because it probably doesn't know the matchup. I mean, did you set Frank up with Soku too? Because that's kind of what's going to matter there. And I still haven't built decks for anybody. He does have Soku 2 set up? Okay. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem then. Also, yes, to explain the frustration of this point, I think this quest was originally set up so that way you could just get all the items in the dungeon, but I feel like they've changed that and did not actually pay attention to that. Worst thing you can do is just not know what the cards do. I mean, that's true. Secondary is getting your custom decks. Yeah. But are there actually going to be setups for Soku 2 decks built right now? Or am I going to have to spend hours to actually create a custom deck? Because that's really the only thing, right? Oh, there are actually discussions set up for Soku 2 already? I know there's the Discord, but like, I don't have the deepest knowledge. Also, I think I'm getting texts about people being angry at the hockey game tonight. Should probably check that. Like you saw, I mostly just stick to enhancement and system buffs regardless of what character. Yeah, you do tend to do that. Dude. And realistically speaking, there are probably cards for Momiji that at least give her a little bit of ranged options instead of just her waterfall attack. I think is the best way of explaining that. Or at least her waterfall supers, rather. I think her base waterfall doesn't really get any tracking. It just kind of does it on you. So you kind of have to combo that with your down heavy shot, if I recall right. Is that waterfall emotion input? Yeah, it's a quarter circle back, I think. Quarter circle back or like 2-1-4 or 4-2-1, I think. And there should be a card to upgrade it. Yeah. There more than likely is. Also, where's the entranceway to Rachel? Not on this map, noted. If you like the move, the card is a universal buff. I guess I'll have to fiddle around in training mode with it just to see what kind of a buff it actually gets. Because what can you do to upgrade it other than just giving it tracking so that way it drops on a current person's location so that way you can kind of ape them when they try to ranged shenaniganry. Or, there we go. Or if you're trying to do something silly, like, I don't know, get a combo set up where that actually matters. Because technically speaking, you can combo with it, but you have to hit them up in the air, either just with your down heavy shot or with a counter. So it's not the best thing to combo with, but it's there. Who knows, fully upgraded, it might just take pieces. I don't think it would take up the whole screen. That'd be a little bit silly. Also, I'm realizing I don't actually need to go into the town. I need to get to the airship, which is over here. There's way sillier things in that game. Well, I mean, your little Healy move on Moko seems to at least have a downshot upgrade tied to it, which I'm not sure why that is. Like, it's BM if you can get it off consistently, but I feel like people would learn that you should just not sit directly under it and go horizontally into it to try and knock you out. Or at least knock you when you're done the animation. Good. There. Even the AI casually just walks out of the way. That's usually not a good sign if the AI is able to outclass an upgrade just by moving. That's silly. Does this tell me where the airship is? It's over there. Pretty sure I don't need to burn my SP. Nothing in here is faster than me. Hi, little hyena buddies. Well, I guess I'll have to fiddle around with it at some point. Because if I'm going to have two people that are going to try coming after me now, I probably should get something set up. Go in. Yep. Okay. So there's Milk Shop and Hugel, or Lighthalsen. And then Amatsu and Komodo have the sweet juice. So I'm gonna have to stop at multiple places then. That's fine. I can actually just check why my phone's been going off like crazy and see if that's important or not. I'll spend 1,000 channel points now if it gives you a chance to build a deck. I mean, that's up to you if you want, Omega. I would mostly just be experimenting with it just to see what cards even do. Was there a hockey fight in playoffs? Oh no, this isn't a hockey fight. This is just general. They're talking about the game, which, yeah, just general. They're talking about the game. That's fine. This one's on me. Alrighty. We'll get to that just as soon as this ship hits back to Islud, just so that way I'm not sitting here the entire time. But I can at least get the music going for that. I'll spend another 1,000 later for actual gameplay. Well, it's completely up to you, Omega. I'm not going to stop you on using your channel points for something, since I know people just get a lot of them now. You have so many of them. Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, next stop is Islud. I'm going to have to pay attention slightly. Oh, good timing. I'm also getting the memory leak anyway, so I kind of need to close out of the game to get it working again. Desktop. Hisoten Soku. E. Pretty sure this is the Soku 2 file. Cool. Now, I just need you to land in Islud, just so that way I'm not stuck on the ship. Because I'm pretty sure you can log out while you're on this ship, but I don't want to jinx it just in case something fucked happens with it. Cool. Oh, there's a trick-or-treater here. Hi, buddy. I don't think I have candy on me, do I? Yeah, sorry, bud. I don't actually have candy on me right now. 30-year-old game with minimum support. What can go wrong? Oh, I don't know. Probably a lot of things, to be honest with you. I guess I should probably just label this as Hisotensoku. I think that's the right category. I don't think anything else has Hisotensoku in it. Alright, so let's see here. I've never actually tried building a deck before. Deck construction. Dude? Momiji Inubashira. Or Inubashiri, rather. I guess it does actually have a proper explanation of it. That's good. How do I just empty stuff? There. Okay. So 20 card deck at max, which isn't too bad. So what do we actually have with the Momiji? Let's see. The Rabies Bite is generally helpful. Quarter Circle Attack, which is fine. There's a page for just what you have equipped. Oh. Whoops. Okay, noted. Card list all, card list system, card list skill. So Rabies Bite is useful. Wind Ripple Slash. That replaces your Quarter Circle forward with a ranged attack. It's just a ripple, the reach is limited. So not mostly a ranged attack, but it gives you something to work with. And then Maple Leaf Bouquet. Throws away a bouquet of maple leaves forward. Throws more leaves if the button is held. Okay. This is your 6-2-3, which I have issues hitting anyways. Enters a blocking stance. By pressing the button again, Momiji does a rising slash. She's just doing this while guarding, so it's a powerful counter. Ugh. Okay, that is definitely helpful. And then let's see, jumps and does a spinning attack. It's usable in the air too, so it's versatile. Okay, having a Z in the air is definitely not too bad. Yeah, here we go. So it's just your Quarter Circle back for the waterfall splash. Attack's delayed, but it's strong. Ambush Hound. Bites the opponent regardless of where they are, but it's slow. Okay. We can get some Omnom in there. Or Fang Trap. Places a trap at her feet, renders an enemy that steps in it defenseless. If you place more than one, the old one will disappear. Ugh, they actually gave her a trapping move. Oh, that's disgusting. Okay. And then this is your Z back, which I also have trouble hitting, but it's helpful at times. Leaps away in a very high speed and throws bullets in a wide arc. Not strong, but it's fast. Then enters a defensive stance. If the opponent attacks, she releases a barrage of bullets. So you can give her 2 counters with that and Patient Hunter and Ambush Stance give you counters. You get a cross-screen move, so if you can predict that someone's going to try setting up a ranged combo and you get that off, depending on the speed, you can just get them with that to interrupt, which isn't too bad. Just in concept. I'm not sure what upgrades would do to make that better other than just speeding it up. Kind of curious what that does. Why don't I try out the ones that I'm thinking of? There. Then can I just save it like that, or do I have to? Yes? Okay, deck does have to have 20. Let's see here. Oh. Series of massive crunches. Choose harder and bigger every time, so it gets more powerful. Counter moves takes a special kind of player, someone with ice in their veins. Well, I can't imagine anyone like that exists. Just dump summon system spell cards to try it out? Probably, yeah. System. There we go. So then if we do that and go to practice, Momiji, green deck, and then anyone, really. Now, this should just be set up where I can fuck around, so... Yep. Also practice the F2 and F3 key cycles. What? F2 and F3 keys cycle your hand. Do you mean that? Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Oh. And that is our... Okay, yeah, that is pretty slow. I'm just if you upgrade that. Can you hold it? No, there is just a delay there, but that's not as slow as I figured it would be, to be honest with you. That's Patient Hunter. Yeah. That would require her to actually do the attack, but that does give you a guard point, so I mean... Well then. There's our ranged option. Doesn't go far, my ass. That goes across the goddamn map. And that covers so much. It starts full screen, so I'd go through a lot of projectiles. Also, welcome in, Solace. Hopefully speaking, things are going alright. Let's see here. That should still be the drop. So can I do... Oh, you can do that. That's so evil. Okay. So you can do ... Wait, what? Why is that vertical now? Did upgrading that actually put it to vertical? That's weird. Okay. Did you pop an alt skill card on it? No, that's what the alt should be. Because quarter circle back is your waterfall move normally, but you can swap it out for the... Dude. You can swap it out for this bite. Oh, wait, no, that's just what happens when you do it with the strong shot. Never mind. So strong shot makes it vertical. That's actually kind of nasty. Oof. And also Touhou Friday is comfy. Touhou Friday is usually pretty comfy, yeah. So, Omega, would you call that range limited? That's literally across the goddamn map. Oh, okay. So, not in the entire map. It goes across 3/4 of the map. So, God forbid you can't hit anybody. But the strong shot goes across maps, so that's not really limited at all. Okay, that's fine. And then that would give us... Wait, is that the counter stance? Huh. That is the counter stance. That just requires someone to hit you. Can I set her to do a normal attack? Counter on... Attack direction doesn't matter. So if I do... No, she does actively have to... No? Counter. Doesn't help if you just want someone to do a basic attack and see how that actually works. Also, you can tell how hard I have actually hitting my Z moves. Dude. But how goes things, Solace? Also, I'm realizing that since they're both tied to the quarter, or the Zs, you can technically have options when you're trying to go for a counter. Either you can block it, pop, and then do something ridiculous like that. And I'd imagine if you had the plunge attack on that Z move, then you could probably do your guard point into that. Oh no, you can't. Can you follow that with a jump? No, you can't, because you're in the air when you're doing your upward slash. Whoop. And that gets to level 3. That gets to level 3. Patient Hunter max. Ranged max. Claw. Oh. Oh, that's evil. Let's quarter back. Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to see some nastiness there. So if you upgrade that backwards attack to the max, it does all 4 directions no matter what way you actually spin it. That's actually kind of nasty. Okay, that's a lot better than the waterfall at least. Up. Let's see here. Can I give her health back? Cool. Alright, well that definitely gives you some weird options. Wouldn't exactly expect you to have range from across the map, because you can do that anywhere. Even if you're super high in the air and someone's trying to snipe you from below, like an Utsuho player, then technically speaking, you can just kind of get them with that. Okay. Definitely weird. Profile deck, Jude, Momiji. Let's do this on the red deck. There. Okay. What other ones are there? Let's just check what Rabies Bite does. We'll check what that does. We'll check what Waterfall does, and just check what all the base ones do. Oh, I can just put all those to 4. That makes things easier. And then... Okay. Save changes. Practice. This will get rid of the counters, which is fine. This is just easier to test at this rate. There. There. Oh, hi, Patchouli. So let's see here. Upgrade the pound attack. There. Literally no way to lab the counters, is there? Yeah, not exactly, no. You basically have to just go in live or go test against bots, which is not the best way of handling things, but I mean... Oh. So let's see here. This would be the plunging attack. And so far I'm not seeing... Oh. So that into that is supposed to be what you're supposed to do with the plunge. But it seems like as you upgrade it, this one lets you hang in the air longer on your heavy shot. Because that's... Please hit it. That's a significantly long time for you to get some hang time with it. And then you have a quicker option there, so you're not, like, completely fucked if you upgrade it, but... I can't hit the Zeds worth my life. So down. So their timing is all screwed up. Yeah. And they might press a button. Yeah. That's kind of the issue with that. So if you're expecting them to like go into an attack that's forward, and then you kind of just jabate them and go up, if I could hit it. Or if you're trying to just get them out of the air, and they're hanging low enough for Momiji to just kind of hop up there and say no, then that's not too bad. I want more of these. It does look like it upgrades your damage, though. Plus, remember the dive's invincible. Is it? I've never actually been able to test that. Oof, you can do that in the air, too. Oh, that's nasty. Okay. But considering that's just one hit, that's actually a surprisingly good amount. Put her back at full. You taught me that the hard way. I mean, I never got that thing out super often. Up. I also gotta remember that this is kind of needed. Wait, what? Why did that not combo well? I guess because she's already stuck in something? Okay. So that's the plunge attack. This is upgrading your base Z forward? Which I think also would be... Ran out of juggle potential. That would do it. Also, welcome in, Frank. Hopefully things are going decently well for you. Too many A attacks will just make B and C attacks no longer hit? Really? So even if I'm just doing like a dash attack and then that... Maybe I'm just not hitting it at the right timing? I don't think I am. I just devoured 40 minutes of my life in a Warframe for Tile mission. Ugh. That's not good. Oh jeez, that gets height. What would be the purpose of actually getting that much height if you can't do anything out of it? Okay, weird. But yeah, Omega does kind of raise a point. At least you survived it. That's kind of what matters the most, Frank. Especially when it comes down to Warframe. You don't really want to screw it up that much. If only because of the fact that that game takes forever to play. Ooh. Oops. Technically died twice, but my pet sacrificed itself, and then it revives in 30 seconds. Hey, I mean, having a pet is nice, so there's nothing wrong with that. No. So that lets you double charge it. Eesh. That's kind of nasty. And that's... No, we still gotta test out the waterfall. What happens to the waterfall when you buff that? Okay. Also, one death playing that mode solo is game over. Eesh. That's not good. Huh. Can you cast that in the air? Yeah, you can cast that in the air. I think you could do that naturally in the first place, though, Frank. I don't think the buff necessarily changes that. Doesn't seem like it gets homing at all, but you've got right in front of you or a little bit farther. So you're able to get a few things out with it, technically speaking. But you do have to have a little bit of range in front of you. It does not work in the corner. And who are you beating up? Oh, we're beating up Patchouli at the moment. So not quite Marissa, but she has some choice words for Marissa, which is at least probably not what people would want. Pop. Let's see here. That seems to be the basic gist. I think it does just give it more damage or makes it wider. Not by enough, though. I thought you were playing PvP. Oh, no, not this time. Omega's giving me some time to try and construct a deck. So we're kind of just going through the cards, seeing what works. Go to this one. There. And then what ones haven't we tested? We haven't tested you. Haven't tested you. Haven't tested the Fang Trap. And we have not tested the Hunter's Fangs. There we go. Okay, you can do it in there normally. It probably just gets damage then. Yeah. Which isn't a bad thing, but it would be nice to have a little bit of tweaking on it, like what the Fangs got. Just random it. We're just testing cards out. Oh, hi, Moko. I also just realized that Moko's feet aren't properly on the ground. Which I guess makes sense. She is functionally just floating all the time, isn't she? Hello? Ooh. Okay. That gives her some range. Jesus. Is that just random, or are those homing? No, that has a pattern. Okay. No, the sprite's just scuffed. I mean, nothing wrong with having a little bit of scuff. There's one. There's one. I think upgrading this one adds more leaves. Oh god, yeah, that adds so many more leaves when you actually upgrade that. Okay. So, there's a ranged option for her, at least. Because even if you're not charging it, like, that's a lot. It probably doesn't go through any other shot type, but that's a lot. So noted, that's actually kind of helpful for her. Compared to... We're losing Fang by adding that. So I guess you lose that as a close-ranged option, but you get a long-range poke, which is what Momiji desperately fucking needs. That's a mass amount of coverage. Looks fairly unpunishable, too. I'm not sure. It would kind of need to be tested in an environment where someone else can shoot, and then Fang doesn't seem that good. Fang does have its uses, just because when you do something like this, you can stay on the ground but still do your Fang and still hit. I guess with the leaves you can too, but sometimes it's nicer to just kind of end it off with a Fang attack instead. Let's see. I guess we'll do the trap next, just to see how... Oh, it's fairly obvious too. Okay. So, I guess pay attention and don't miss the giant angry red thing on the floor. I think that's relatively easy for anyone to figure out. Let's see. And I guess upgrading it lets it last longer? And that's her quarter circle back. Wait, what? Oh. She can throw it with her strong shot. That's kind of rude. So if someone's jumping down, you can just chuck that out and just gnaw on their ankles. Oh, that's mean. Okay. Well, I mean punishable by grazing, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, wrong thing. So that places at your feet. That just chucks it forward. What's the range on it? It's fairly consistent. Yeah, for someone forcing someone to get the fuck out on wake up. I wonder if it hits low. That's a good question, actually. I should be able to test that, right? Guard high. So she'll block high. Whoops. Nope, that still hits high. That's weird. That's literally a floor trap. Why does that hit high? Oh, I put on auto? No, I put on high. For guard. You just take more spirit? Oh. Wait, can you? I thought the entire point... Put it on and see if she ducks. Okay. No, she doesn't duck. So I guess it just hits high. Pretty nasty-ass chip damage even through guard, though. Yeah, I guess mid isn't too bad, but having a low option wouldn't hurt. Yeah, it's pretty good utility overall. When it comes to that, that would be removing your quarter circle back, so you would be losing either your waterfall or the chompers, I think is the comparison point. I kind of like the chompers over the trap, I'll be completely honest with you, but I guess at max charge, like, this lasts for a while. So if you could bully someone just into it, then that's not too bad. The 2B hits low? Yeah, this should realistically hit low. I'm not sure why it doesn't, to be completely honest with you. And then that should too. Guess low projectiles just aren't a thing. Apparently not, no. But, like, even the kick... Oh, there we go. So the kick... So obviously down A is at least a low attack. That is not... That is not... And that hits mid because it's a launcher. Okay. Noted. What else did we need to test in this kit? Right, that... Oh. That's like Reimu's thing. And it looks like upgrading it gives you more bullets in it? And I believe that's covering your quarter circle back. Let's see. Can you act in the air after it? I don't think you can actually cast the trap in the air. Dude. Dash cancel or 5A or something. Let's see here. Nope. Oops. No, you're kind of stuck with laying that trap down. You have to wait for that full animation. But I guess... Oh, the air projectile. Let's see here. Doesn't look like you can cancel that one. Oh, duh. Sorry, you mean this, don't you? Hmm. Dude. I don't think you can dash cancel that. Just, you are... Oh, you did mean the teleport one? That's the Z target, which I have trouble hitting. I'm not sure if you can. You kind of seem stuck in it until you get all your shots off. Come on. You can cancel into it, apparently, through that move. Come on, hands, you can do this. It does seem like it'd have its use, but... Doesn't matter, recovery's stupid good. You're not stuck in anything. The very strong approach tool. Yeah, I guess it is. What does the strong variant do? Oh, strong variant is the escape tool. Because that just... I'm not putting any extra directionals in there. That just warps you back. If I could hit it. And I guess technically you can get your quarter circle forward out before you hit the ground. Up. Your 5B. Yeah, that does at least give you some time for the input. Either 5B or 5C can really work for you. At least when it comes down to it. And... I'm honestly just bad with hitting the Zeds, so I kind of need to practice that on my own time. But I can see the use, just I'm really bad at hitting it. Up. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shuriken motion, definitely worth grinding out consistency on. Yeah, it is. There just seems to be a lot of options when it comes down to getting the Shoryuken done. But I can always just have problems with that. It's weird, I have no problem hitting Suika's DP inputs, but everyone else is a problem. Drunk Oni with loose tolerances. I mean, Drunk Oni with loose tolerances is at least... Hello, approach tool. Hold up. Nope. So that's your actual Shoryuken input, not the backwards one. But I guess the strong shot goes higher? Yeah, the strong shot would actually be able to hit you mid-air, but I think the weak shot Has slightly limited range. Okay. How far does that actually go? Jesus, okay. That goes across about 70% of the map. So if you just need to get in there and they're prepping something weird, then yeah, spin to win. Probably punishable unless you can dash cancel. Yeah, it honestly is. So it would basically be used, at least if I'm fighting like Omega with Moko, this would be used to try and stop a low entrance shot into the invincibility, but I know he usually starts that with a fireball and then he does that, so it's not the most useful. Also, unless it grazes, it's not a real approach tool. Yeah, you're right. It is at least helpful for catching people unaware, though. So if you're able to catch them once they're out of their dashes out of the sky, that also helps. Interesting. Would be good to test, just because a lot of her stuff grazes. It honestly does. And would be a movement catch tool without grazing. I kind of wonder if it would catch people who are doing their dash attacks like those, if there's enough range to it that it is able to poke them instead of you getting assaulted with it. Good. Up. Not sure if that would, though. That would have to kind of come into testing with a person. Okay. So at least out of the cards that I like, at least, when it comes down to it, I appreciate that, if only for giving her an option at ranged, just so that way she can actually, you know, hit people. And I don't use the Fang too much anyways. That's not a bad tool. Mainly because the other ones are the guard counter and the rising slash, which I can never get into a combo anyways. So that as a oh fuck tool can be helpful, at least. What I've done before is bind player 2 to some random spot on the keyboard, so you can just press a button and have a projectile appear. That's not too bad, actually. Wonder what controls this would actually be using. And do I actually have to... Oh, wait. Okay, so she's mapped to just the basic keyboard then. Okay. Unfortunately, Mokos are a little bit too quick for this, but... Let's see here. Grab Iku? Oh yeah, actually, Iku would probably be a good one. Omiji, that deck. Iku, where are you? Dancing Queen. There. Someone with one button, slow balls. Yeah. Oh yeah, right, that's another property of Fang that's actually useful. It eats bullets. That's at least one thing to keep in mind. So this needs to be tested just for the sake of it. Oops. No. So if we do that... Looks like the leaves can eat Iku's bullets. At least when we're max charged. That's actually not too bad. And they can eat the exported shots of those, too. Can't eat the main shot, though, but it can get around it, so that's also something you need to keep in mind, because it's not super obvious when you're following it, but a lot of those shots curve, or don't go necessarily straight. Definitely weird. Kind of plays like weird boomerangs, which isn't too bad for you. Here. And I believe this is what we were testing for. So let's see here. I would need to get... Okay, so yeah, that is punishable. It's very punishable, which is not good. Eesh. Okay, so yeah, it's not an approach tool. That'd be handy, but I guess not. I guess that one, I think, is? Nope. Come on, hand, you can do it. That was just because I was on the ground. Okay, so yeah, that does go through projectiles at least. Oops. If I can hit it. Okay, noted. So this is not quite as helpful, but I'm rarely ever using the Shoryuken input. So I guess it's helpful. How helpful is it in combos, actually? So that obviously goes past. And can you do this in air? You can do it in air. So if you're accidentally punishing someone who's going low, then that would technically be an option. It's probably going to combo off most stuff that gets you a launch. I'm not sure, because Momiji's launch does have her hop. Oh no, okay, you can get that in. Bop, 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 bop. So you can go into the launch, and then immediately into that. Huh. I did not think you could actually cancel that. Okay. Can't go off that. It would have to be the launch itself, because you can do it in the air. But would that be better than just... Oops. That... Because you can do the leaves in the air, too. But I guess the leaves wouldn't be doing as much damage compared to the spin to win. Also, I gotta remember that that is a guard point, and I need to utilize that a bit more. Because I'd wager, in this case at least... Yeah. Guard point. This is why Momiji gets her shield. You can go away. What else is worth testing? I guess the super cards are technically worth testing. Profile, deck construction, Miji. There. Let's see here. System cards. Oh, that's a lot more system cards. Huh. So, the shield bounce we've at least experienced before. It's not bad, but I don't see anyone ever realistically hitting this unless you're in your basic attack combo anyways. The waterfall is good, but this one hits directly on you. You do get a higher cost one as well, and that targets the other person, but obviously being a 5 cost, that's a bit of an issue. What does this do? Let's see, what else did we not done? Swallow reversal. Slashes forwards and backwards. It said that she's able to do this if both slashes happen at the same time. In Waterfall's Battle and Shield? Yeah, the shield is honestly pointless. Like, Reimu has a similar skill where she's chucking out yin-yang orbs that bounce, but hers at least bounce higher. Momiji's just kind of like bounce on low aerial space, which has its use, but it's not perfect for it. There's a big fuck off. Also, I'm realizing I don't need a ton of these. Autumn's Gentle Breeze, a wind aura that slowly expands. It isn't gentle at all. Okay. Relentless Wolf Strike. Let's just pull in all the ones that we don't get normally. There. Yeah, you can really just jump over the shields, plus you can graze them. Yeah. That's not a good thing if you can graze a super that easily. There. This can go on... Actually. This can go on Iku just in case I need to test stuff. Okay. Did you know you can get into the deck setup from character select? I did not see that, actually. I also didn't save the deck, did I? Okay, so it's not load. Oh no, it is. Nope. C or pad 2. Weird. There it is. One player deck construction. Momiji. Get rid of all this. Yes. And then we're looking to test these. So a couple of those, couple of those, couple of those. There. So Momiji with the purple deck, and then Iku with whatever, just that way I've got a shot clock if I ever need it. Alright, so that still didn't save the deck. Rain? Oh. What the fuck was I doing? Are you on the same profile? Apparently. It's just saving it in a weird spot, apparently. Because it's saving on there even though it's adjusting the purple one. Saved on those two slots. What? Rain. Okay. Yes, I guess? Momiji, go to this, I guess? Okay, there we go. So what does this one do? So a pretty basic go fuck yourself shot, which is fine. Ooh. Okay. So limited usage, but they are hitboxes that are around you, so you can set up some nasty ass combos with it. Noted. That's not too bad. That's just a go fuck yourself out of a combo. Just don't ever get that infinite deck mod because it desyncs online. Infinite deck mod? I wasn't planning on grabbing any more mods, just because I feel like that's going to break things if I do that, but noted. Hold up. For one thing, how far is that? Okay, that's not actually that far. Cool animation, though. There's this, which I believe is a melee thing? Yeah, okay. That's not too bad. Oops. There's this, which... Oh, okay, it does have a little bit of a range. Okay. So that's also another one that's good in melee. What's this one again? That's just a screen poke? Huh. And you can do it from the air, and it literally hits everything. Okay. So I guess that's just kind of there if you need to disturb someone. Does do a good amount of damage, though, if you can hit all 5 hits on it. With this one, can you do that in the air? No, you cannot do this in the air, which makes sense considering the animation. Wonder if it chips on block? That's a good test, actually. Yeah. About 5 per... Oh, the full screen one. A bit. Not a ton, but a bit. That also chips a little bit. Oh. Oh, that gets big. Okay, hold up. So, say for instance, I do some shenaniganry like that. I'm just gonna turn block off for a second. Interesting. You can't actually just get them to sit on top of that. Yeah, okay, that would be pretty nasty to actually get set up. For 3 cards, that's not bad, even if it does 500 even on chip. Yeah, I mean, 3 cards is nothing to shake a stick at. This one is 4. I don't actually have the chip up. Hold up. How much chip does that do? Not bad. That is for 4, though. That doesn't do too much in terms of chip. So you'd be able to just block that entire thing. This is the anime moment, which does a little but not significant. That... Yeah, that doesn't do much either. That's a super low cost one. There's this, which guard can eat that super quick. Okay. Then I think that's all of the supers, actually. I haven't seen any other ones pop up for a bit now. But you definitely have options. I guess in low cost, that's actually not awful. The shield ring probably is just for getting in on projectiles. Actually, yeah, hold up. Yeah, actually, that blocks shots. It doesn't even eat your shields. Okay, that's actually useful. How heavy of a shot can that eat, though? Wow. Oh no, I blocked that manually. Huh. That just completely bypassed her. That's a weird interaction. So it blocks regular shots, and then that heavy shot, which normally pierces, just goes straight through you without even ticking the shield. That's weird, but I guess not bad. I don't think I can hit... I gotta at least test that. Ooh! Right, okay. The drill technically counts as part of Iku's hitbox during that, so that interaction at least makes sense. Yeah, I'm not sure if you've played Iku very much, but Iku's drill does count as part of her hitbox. So I can't really show it while controlling two things, I think. But like you can hit the drill. You can see where that's hitting, right? That's hitting the tip of the drill. That's not hitting her regular box. It's kind of the one slight downside when it comes to Iku, is just that her hitbox gets silly with the drill, but when it connects, it's good. Doot, doot. There we go. That's why everyone replaces it. Yeah, exactly. Because you're just extending your hitbox out a lot. And it's useful, but it's not the best for you, which is a bit of a shame. Granted, the super drill is not bad. I think you... Let me get the drill back up on her. I need the super for the drill. It's not that. Weird. The lightning drill beats projectiles and leads to combos. The lightning drill, you say? I probably should lab out Iku a little bit, just because I do like how Iku plays, but I always seem to have issues just trying to get stuff done with her. Probably because she is going to have to worry more about... What command input is that? Really, that's the Z target, okay. There. Oh well, we're not labbing out Miku or Iku right now anyways. So, Momiji at the very least, card-wise, we would probably want to do... At the very least... That... I'd want... Would I want leaves or that? I feel like the Wind Ripple Slash would actually go through things a bit easier than the leaves do, but I think we have to stay on brand. This is good. And then I don't use the other moves very much anyways, but I'm fine with keeping the drop. And then this. There. Supers-wise, I'm fine with teeth. And then... Admittedly, the shield isn't that bad. So I'd probably just do something like that, just to make sure that we have our options, because the shields act as very good defense as well as just a actual approach tool. Because you're not grazing with them, but you're blocking with them, which is kind of the important part. So there'd be that. We would also probably want to build a deck more focused on... Let's see here. What do these cards even do? Spirit power to regenerate quickly. Attack is not possible. Huh. Probably weird ways to combo off of shield interaction too. Oh, for sure. Excellent card for covering large amounts of distance quickly. SST is just pure reversal. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's like your burst attacks that you usually have. The effects are small but permanent. Multiple uses further increases the effects. So you can increase your own defense mid-battle with a single-use sack doll. Huh. Burst is the closest way to describe it. Seems like it, at least. Precious book that fills up with magic power permanently increases the rate of spirit orb recovery. Okay. I use sack doll. It's boring, but it works. Hey, I mean, sometimes you just kind of want to make stuff work, right? Slow Pursuit. Holding Fan, which fills you with the power of the Yokai of Boundaries. Crashes through all obligations to deliver a strike. If blocked, it causes a guard crush, otherwise it does nothing. And then Ibuki's Gourd. Card power to swell up, drawing an additional 2 cards. Okay. Manipulate the wind. Wind will make the body lighter and more agile. Speed is increased. Speed is increased. That could technically be tricky. Inflicts damage on the soul. Destroys opponent's top card. Tengu Fan is much better on slower characters. I guess I can see where you're coming from. I'd be curious to test it out on Momiji, though. To the point, actually, I kind of want to see what some of these stacking effects do for her. It's an invincible strike that interrupts attacks. Invokes the laws of weather and ends the current weather. Heals the body a fixed amount. If you get 4 of them, you're pretty much in Tempest. Hey, I mean, it's worth a shot. Freezes the ground. Anyone who steps on it will lose their advantageous position. Also slip and fall. That's rude. Energy to swell up for a short amount of time. Receiving a blow will not cause you to falter. So that just gives you super armor, then. That's not bad. Let's see, Control Rod, which gets the energy of nuclear fusion. Permanently increases attack power, but it lowers your defense. Nothing will happen, but on the 3rd. Yeah, I kind of figured Control Rod would kind of be useful for super aggressive builds. And then the Catfish is Earthquake.
Dude, can you draw me like one of your French toasters?
Haven't gotten a sketch for game in a while. Well, we can always come up with a secondary deck later, but no, don't save that. Reserving my spot for tomorrow. Oh yeah, I do have on there that I'll do those on Saturday now, don't I? Okay, well, you'll have to remind me then, because I'm assuming this is the new character that you've been working on. Yeah. Well, I can try my best at least. But let's just try this out against an AI with Momiji, and then we'll just head back to Ragnarok Online for a bit. I believe it's on this. Oh goody, it's Patchouli. Hi. Oh. Nope. Gonna have to ask you to F off. Ah, darn. Gotta remember that I don't have the shields the entire time. Up. Oh, right. Also gotta remember that the guard point on the sword is not the greatest thing in the world for her. Ow. Okay, you can graze through those, which makes sense. They are functionally just teeth still. Nope. There we go. And now we at least have a ranged option, which against Patchouli, that does kind of beg the question, what does it break, if anything? Oh, there's Tempest. Duke. That leaf is actually weirdly useful and or brain dead. Noted. But it is slower than her... Oh, it doesn't get through her magic. Okay. I bet those leaves are a problem for Patchy. I guess it depends. It doesn't eat her attacks, but it does feel like it goes through them still. She's not actually letting me get them off either. It won't stop her fireball, but they'll swirl through them. Whop. I actually just need to recharge my spirit power at this rate, because she's just throwing out everything. Oh, there goes the chains. Good chance she'd get hit even on ground level, assuming you're fast enough. Oh, wait, hold up. No, her water shots seem to destroy the leaves still. Just they go around it, so you can still sometimes get it off. Also, I should probably just finish this, just so I don't get my ass handed to me just because of Little Miss Bookworm bullying me. Dude. There. Admittedly, Patchy is probably one of the harder things for you to deal with as Momiji anyways, so can't exactly cause harm with everything going on here. What did I put here? I think this is the guard. Nope. Actually, yeah, just kill her. Oh. Ow. Never mind. Let the moose loose in the library? Pretty much at that rate. Oh hey, we got our Mega Chompy. I really gotta stop doing that as part of my combo for that. Because that never seems to hit when I'm actually doing the aerial bit. Oops. Ow. Nope. Come on, dude. It's just a lunatic computer. You can deal with those. Hopefully. Granted, I do very much need to stop getting hit by those fireball raids. Ah, darn, I should have kept her in that. Oh. And you broke my guard too, you sassy little caster. Ow. Eesh. Note to self, actually prep your patchouli pop properly. But I guess conceptually speaking, the deck is fine. But we did kind of not get the cards I wanted during that, so I guess I would just need to hit harder to make sure stuff would work. Damn it. Stack Dax with magic potions, pretend you're syrup. Oh Jesus, I'm not sure how efficient that would actually be. Oh hey, Tempest. Ow. Nope. Nope, that's slower than her rocks. There. Nope. Probably not much unless you just spam bullets and specials, but... yeah, it happens. Get that up. There we go. That gives us our leaf. So, leaf. You can graze through those, which makes sense. They are a basic shot type. Makes sense. The only problem with the leaves, I'm realizing, is that getting them out is slow. That's really the only problem with it. Dude. Oh. Oh, that actually gives pretty heavy knockback, too. Noted. Nope. There we go. Goodbye, Tenchi. Alright, well, I guess we at least have a build set up. I'm not sure how efficient it actually is, but it is at least a singular build. I don't think the leaves are any slower to come out than Yuko's bullets, and they have similar coverage. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty usual, or I'd say it's comparable to that at least. But it's been a couple hours, so I'm just going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to some Ragnarok Online Assassinating at the very least, now that we've at least got that set up. Dude. So don't mind me, I'll be back in a bit. There we go. Hello again. Hopefully everyone was able to actually get a bit of a break in too. I also more so would want to encourage it during this weather, if only because I know I have some problems dealing with the heat, and I doubt anyone is immune from that kind of weather source nowadays. So just make sure you're keeping a drink on hand and taking care of yourselves, please, because I know that can be the hard part. Yeah, hopefully things are at least going well. I am currently looking for a milk salesman, because apparently there's something like that in Islude somewhere. Let's see, New Adventurer's Guide, those are children. Stream cat? What do you mean by stream cat? Like, don't get me wrong, I do like me a cat or two, but I don't keep any. That would not vibe very well in the cabin. I wouldn't know where the little guy would be. Romantic, romantic. Oh, right. Ragnarok Online. Thank you. Milk salesman. Maybe in the items shop? Okay, that is animated. I was wondering for a second, it's like, why are you posting an egg? What does an egg have anything to do with this? You're the newly added one, so I don't think you would be what I'm looking for. Let's see, you would sell gun stuff. Weapon and armor. Hmm. It is also entirely possible that the wiki is out of date, because I've run into that problem a couple of times now. Nope, don't need any of those either. Alright then, well, we are in Google Times, so Islude 105.92. So it should be outside then. 105.92. So down here? $105. So about here, and then further down? No, it's not you. Alright, looks like the wiki is wrong again. Or at least it's out of date. What are you talking about? Yeah, it should be a farm girl looking character. So where would they have moved her? Wouldn't be you. Guess I don't think it'd be you. No, I used to sell apples and bananas. Don't need those, we just need some milk. Looks like that's a no, though. Where else can I actually get milk from? The orc babies drop it fairly regularly. So I guess if we want to warp to Geffen, that's also an option. And then in Prontera as well. Prontera is probably a safer bet than trying to go hunt things in Geffen Woods. So why don't we just head over there in our patented fast travel? because clearly we're the cool kid who can outrun anyone just by backstepping. Whoops. Need to face the right direction. Doot, doot, doot. Ah, darn. Now, will a tree stop me? Damn. I was half joking. Here we go. Used up a majority of our mana for that, but we made it there quickly. Also, that's not exactly what you're supposed to have backstep for, but it does technically give you fast travel. Just not the fastest travel. Oh, I don't have any. Shame. Don't actually know what red herbs are good for, but... Now, do you sell milk? No, but you warp to Juno. That's definitely not what I'm looking for. There's milk. Cool. Alrighty, now I just need to get the sweet juice, which I'm pretty sure is a warp to Komodo is the best one. So where's the Caphra at? Hello there. Can you send me to the beach? We'd like to have a lovely vacation, please and thank you. Let's see here. And he should be relatively close by. Cooking merchant? There we go. One of those, one of those, one of those. Cool. Alrighty then, back to Rachel. Maybe after stocking up on medicine and fly wings, though. Because realistically speaking, I should not have eaten that much damage. And they're still texting about the hockey game, hot damn. I guess I'm missing something. Ah. There. Night potion. Bye. And then these. Cool. And now we just gotta head back to Rachel and give her a pretty rowdy piece of our mind from forcing us to do stuff like this. And then at least we should be getting the best gear we'd have available to us right now. So then all we gotta do is level up 8 more times, and then we can try to look into the Transcendence system, because I honestly have no friggin' idea what I'm supposed to do with that. Dude. But that will at least let us become a high thief. And clearly the best kind of thief is one who's drunk off his mind off drugs. Dude. And it seems like the family unit is at least just pissed at the referee for this hockey game. Which I suppose isn't a bad thing. That is usually who you'd end up blaming when it comes down to a game. That's fine, though. We don't care about sports balls here. We're just here to play some vidya games. Try to have some fun with it. And I guess it is more of a discussion topic. I've kind of discussed it with Solace already off stream or during the Minecraft stream, and I'm just forgetting it. But we do kind of have three forever projects in our schedule so far, and I at least thought about it, and I feel like we should at least do a 50-50 split of them. So we might need to axe one of them. And I feel like art we should probably keep in place. And realistically speaking, Minecraft we should probably keep in place for now as well, since we're at least playing that with other people. So we may be axing Ragnarok Online in the future, just so that way we can do a set time game, since I've got an infinite number of those to go through still right now, and I'd probably want to actually get through them sometime within the next 5 years. But we'll see how far we can at least get with the characters that we've gotten in this so far, and then we can just move on. Because there's not really a good place to end except when you get to your third job, and that would probably take us months. And I don't think people would necessarily want to see me grind through the same character through 3 separate job levels. Unless people do actually want to see that. There's the Rachel stop. I don't know. I wouldn't mind swapping out the Friday game just with something other RPG or something like that. Just so that way we can put one thing that needs to go longer in a slot that makes sense to go longer on. Because Minecraft, at the very least, we tend to end relatively on time. Hmm. Now let's see about finishing this thing off. You little ferrets can leave me alone. We're only here for the ice cavern. And then that should at least give us our last bit of Eden gear. And then I guess we'll go back to the clock tower and just kind of hunt stuff for a bit. Shoot. Because I think we were playing the assassin last week as well, and you got to see that we just needed to murder a bunch of clocks. Did I kill the flies, actually? Okay, yeah, the flies are pretty harmless. Shoot. Over there, okay. Oh yeah, also worth mentioning, but tonight's music selection is functionally just Toho mixes. So not official stuff, but based on official stuff. And it's generally a good thing to just try and wake up to. Higher? Higher. Game is just being mean, apparently. Fine. Yeah, exactly. Because don't worry, I still care a lot about Toho music, too. It's not just the fact that they've got hot mom characters in it. Or at least characters that are usually portrayed as hot moms, even though I think 2 or 3 of them aren't supposed to be. Although I think Kaneko and Yugi at least are supposed to be. Considering Kaneko is at least one of the old gods and Yugi is one of the old demons. Your mom is a Toho? I mean, if my mama was a Toho, I'd actually be learning Danmaku a lot quicker than I do now. There's the door. Oh, hello, Angry Birds. You want to come up here just so that way people don't have to get bombarded at the entrance? Nope. That's actually not too bad. I'm also realizing there's just a lot that I should be doing in my off time, which has me a little bit worried because we need to grind up in Labyrinth of Galeria. I still need to actually work on reading up on Toho lore just so that I can understand what's going on. And I've got vague understandings of it just on the character bios and what you can actually glean off of them. But I should realistically just learn the history at this rate. And a couple more warps. North part of the map, please? Yeah, that works. Hey, buddy. You're probably not who I'm looking for either. Just one last thing? Really? Oh, cool. Okay, that's enough of that quest at least. Let's see if we can get this necklace delivered, though. Do we get any hint on this? Take care of this necklace and ask Maheho, or Maheo, restore its luster. Mage in the ice dungeon. Let's see here. What floor are we talking about here? Hmm. Oh, is this a third level thing? Oh yeah, it was the random mage that was frozen in ice. Okay. I remember him. Wasn't the most pleasant of gentlemen to actually encounter, but he's somewhere on the second floor, if I recall correctly. Of course, this does not actually mention where he is, which is admittedly a bit of a problem. Shoot. But second floor. Okay. That is perfectly fine. How much will the game actually let me get to it, though? Shoot. Oh, right. Something I probably should do is just look through either the Switch games we have, or I could look through PS4 stuff. Because there's been a want on my own side, at least, to either play Persona 5 Royal, since I've only played the base game of Persona 5. I honestly wouldn't mind going through the Odin Sphere remaster for PS4, because I like Odin Sphere. It's got very good history to it, and just looks very pretty. Or we could do one of the various Switch games that we still need to do with either Fire Emblem, not Three Houses, on Awakening, Engage, I think it is. Because I have that, but I haven't touched it. Technically, we could do Three Houses too. There's the Advanced Wars game, which I plan on streaming at some point. And then there's all the Mega Man collections that I've been grabbing, which would also technically work. I haven't played them very much before, but technically valid options either way. I should probably just do this. We're not here to exactly fight anything, now that we've at least done what we've needed to do. But I'd rather just get this mage out of his crystal. Or at the very least get him his necklace, because I doubt that he enjoys sitting in that crystal all day. Shoot. You down here, buddy? Yeah, you are. On your own, too. I'm sorry, my man. Hmm. I guess he's just permanently stuck in there, but at least he can still talk with everybody on the outside. But why is he just a basic magician class if he's one of the ultimate mages? You've got options, my dude. Yeah, no, this guy's just kind of a dork. He wanted to gather ice, but then set himself on fire, which is not great. And then I'm assuming I just need to go talk with the person back in Rachel. Kind of a weird quest, but I suppose there are weirder out there. Shoot. Nope. That's close enough. Oh well, it lets us get out of Rachel. Nothing good comes of hunting in Rachel, aside from just being in the ice caverns and not having to worry about sweating to death. Here. Now, can you get me to the front? Lovely. Gonna have to be very careful while replying to my phone later, I think. Shoot. Yeah, hopefully everyone's at least having a good evening so far. I know at least on my side, we do tend to just kind of lurk while we're getting stuff done. But as long as this is providing a place for you to listen to either my calm voice or the chaos of the Toho mix musics, then I feel like I'm doing at least a decent job. Not that Twitch seems to be balanced in noticing lurkers at all, but doing the best I can at the very least. Let's see here. What's the quickest way for me to get back? Probably just hopping around with the wings, to be honest. Yeah, man, you can do it. Just a bunch of angry birds you're not supposed to be fighting yet. There. Lurkers come here to die of frostbite. I mean, you're not exactly wrong, Omega. Oh, whoops. I'm very much in the wrong place. I guess it just depends on if we have topics to talk about. Because, fun fact, learning what you're supposed to be doing at lower viewer counts is not a simple task. You can technically bring up topics till you just kind of run out of air, but that doesn't necessarily help if no one's really responding to you either. Give me back. There we go. Oh wait, no. Actually, I need to go further south. That's actually not that good. I have to go all the way around. Please? There we go. That's a bit better. Although at least having some topics would probably help out a little bit. So one of these days I might just have to jot down various things or because the sound of flesh freezing is ASMR. I'm not 100% certain if that's true, Omega, but there are probably some people who enjoy it. Ugh. Ugh. All right, brain. We can make it. It's only about an hour left to stream anyhow. Let's here. If I recall right, the master of his is just someone. Well, that looks absolutely satanic. Dream passage. Okay. Steve, you are the master? Rick. I did not pay attention to his dialogue. Unless I was supposed to talk with him multiple times, in which case that's probably not great. Oh no, okay, this is still someone in Rachel. I'll give you a wind hammer. Huh, an elementally charged weapon? No, no, it's not an actual weapon. Alright, well, this doesn't really give me anything that I would realistically need right now, so why don't we just go back to the clock tower and start murdering some stuff? Which I'll use you to get back to where I need to go. Then I can just grab some more butterfly wings once we get to technically Aldebaran. Teleport. Aldebaran. There we go. And then if I recall correctly, the item shop is just down here. Come on, you can get up there. Let's see here. The hierarch is probably not a bad idea. Collect? That gets rid of our alarm one at least. Errands for Thorntimer. That can go away. Oh, right, I still need to actually get gear from doing that ice dungeon portion before. Let's get that done and out of the way then. And at least get the base armor that we'll be using till we max out. Although considering we only have an hour left, we're probably not going to get to the Transcendent system tonight. It is a bit of a shame, but stuff happens. There you are. Move to the Eden group. Thank you. Lovely. Hi, buddy. Reinforce your weapon. Dude. Okie dokie. Guess we'll take a weapon reinforcement as well. Here. What's going on? Can you strengthen, or can you give me new stuff? Good. I guess just strengthen equipment. Or not. Hmm. I guess not. Okay. Oh well, let's just go back to Aldebaran. We'll hunt some nasty little ankle biters and then some witches. And then I'll have to figure out where the high orcs are, but they're definitely not in the clock tower. Dude. And we're getting the memory leak already, so that's always fun. Let's see here. How did I get into the basement last time? I believe I went up here. And then I tried going to the north exit. That's probably okay. There. No, no, head back over there. There. I am glad that being invisible does just give you a speed boost when you're hugging the wall, though. Like, no realistic reason for it to give you the speed boost, but it's very nice to just zoom through places without having to think super hard about it. Shoot. Come on, you can do it. There. That kicks us up to Clock Tower 3, which I don't need to hunt anything on here. All I need to do with my pretty little self is not head this way, apparently. We go up here. Just avoid everything along these roadways because these alarms are annoying to fight. And the clock tower manager, too. Nice. There. You can go down here. Scoot yourself into here. And then just a little bit further down. And that should put us in the basement. Then we just murder as we need to. Oh, Jesus. Murder as we needed, but try not to get completely just ganked, because these guys can do that. Please. Fine. Fuck. Okay, well, I needed to get rid of the blindness anyways, but I guess we'll just make our way back then. Gotta remember that going out of those portals does not necessarily put you in the same spot, which is a minor complaint. But I suppose it could be worse. There. Go up here. Zoom along this wall. Suppose I could just fly wing over there. Did I actually? Oh, damn, I did. Okay. I mean, I'll take the luck. Hey, buddy. Gonna have to ask you to calm down, please. I know I need to murder about 41 more of you guys, but you feel like taking it easy on me? Here. This is admittedly also just a bad grinding spot if you need money at all, because the things that the Nemonas drop are not really worth killing them over. I think it might be pissing rain outside. Certainly not the worst thing in the world, but I guess it is just confirmation that we're heading into the warmer months. Not that anyone's necessarily wanting that. Here. There. Then kill you. Please. There. I'm sorry, but why are you guys hitting so much now? There's only 2 of you. You should not have that much hit. Shoot. There we go. Hmm. I guess something that does at least help bring folks together, as I know Ezo's introducing me to some Argentinian music on Minecraft Wednesdays, but would there be a good point in trying to discuss more music with folks just because music taste at least is wide enough that you can usually get ideas off other people? Because I know my rotation is just kind of whatever is playing or whatever my mood is hitting at the time. But I know others tend to have more nuanced reasonings for sticking to certain genres. Dude. Hey there, buddy. Gonna have to ask you to calm down. You mean there's music? Thought all Argentina had was football and additional football? No, not in this case. There is at least a little bit more going on than just football on the national degree, which I think more people should realistically pay attention to, because there's more to life than kicking balls all day. Oh boy. Y'all should not be hitting me nearly as much. There. Oh, fuck. No, leave. You can always benefit from a solid ball kick. Once in a while, as prescribed by your doctor. I'm just imagining someone just drawing a soccer ball on one of those doctor's notes and handing it to the nurse, and then them actively being confused for once, instead of just confirming that they know how to read Egyptian hieroglyphics. Good. I'll take that. You're up on the pipe. Okay. I won't worry about you then. Here. I guess thinking on it though, there probably would be times where a doctor would just prescribe you with a sport just to try and get you the right kind of exercise for whatever you're dealing with at the time. Yeah. Although I'm not sure how well it would go over if a doctor told you that you need to be kicked in the nuts repeatedly for whatever medical condition you're usually suffering from. Although I feel a jaded psychiatrist would probably prescribe that too. Here. Oh, I didn't buy any butterfly wings, did I? That means we're gonna have to manually walk back. Oops. Here. This is why we only pretend to be doctors on Twitch. Yeah. I feel like if you were an active doctor on Twitch, you would probably fall into that same camp of people who are doing the, like, dedicated fortune telling stuff. Like, for fun, fortune telling isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like the people who do fortune telling for donations is kind of pushing the hypothetical boundaries of what you should be doing on the platform. Here. Hello, Mr. Bat. You're just a weak little bastard, so don't worry. We'll put you out of your misery. But I guess if you were a doctor on Twitch, what would you actually do? Would you just be playing Surgeon Simulator for your entire live stream category? What stream category do I look for fortune telling? Probably just chatting, to be honest with you. I think that's where all of them are usually sitting. Shoot. They don't think there's meant to be a dedicated live surgeries. I feel like a live surgery on Twitch would probably not end very well because you're showing human insides and not video game ones. And I feel like Twitch would have an issue with that. Oh, hi, mouse. Goodbye, mouse. Let's go. I would be very, very concerned if it actually happened to Omega, but if you do find one, I guess just let me know. We'll see how long the channel actually is up. What about replays of surgeries? I think that still would fall under human intestinal tracts or just human gore. That's outside of a video game. So you're kind of pushing some limits. Classic surgery footage. Yes. Hello, welcome to the 1920s. We're going to be doing some surgery on your brain, so don't mind the hacksaw. We just need to get through your skull matter first. Intestines for artistic references. Or sausage making. I feel like there is someone who's at least tried to make sausage live on stream, if only because of the fact that all you're doing is grinding meats together to work better together, and then just shoving it all into a casing anyways. I think it just matters after that point what you end up doing with your sausages anyways, so. Meat grinding isn't gore? Not really, because you're not dealing with blood when you're trying to make sausage meat. But when you're opening up a human, it's very glossy. There's blood you gotta worry about. There's just extra excrement you need to worry about. It's not a very clean process. Yeah, exactly. At least when you're just trying to make sausage, you are just grinding meat into a tube. And that's usually enough to just kind of get your point across. But when you're cutting up a person, that implies a whole other issue. Which I'm not sure how Twitch would handle, to be honest with you. There. Crit stat seems to be doing pretty well for itself. At least on these guys. There. How many more? 9? That's not too bad. And we just gotta get the batteries, which... Battery? The regular one. So I need to go to the next underground layer. Okay. Good. Find out which streaming platform is most popular with medical grad students. I mean, I feel like that would just be Twitch anyways, right? Either Twitch or YouTube, just because medical students just need an escape from stuff, to be honest with you. I don't think it necessarily matters what. Dude. Silly Nimona. You're not going to get us today unless you've got just a large variety of friends. There. We can murder you. What other weird things would actually be streamed on Twitch they wouldn't think about? I guess conceptually sleep streams are always just odd. Having a stream up of somebody sleeping and just watching that for hours, and, actively watching that for hours. I'm not sure if I would ever be comfortable with an idea like that. I know there are people out there that do that, and there is a category for just sleeping, which is admittedly strange. But people have grown accustomed to it, I suppose, so I'll also probably pick that up. What time are we at? About 11:20? We can at least get the Nemonas finished off. And then would we want to try hunting the Bathories? Because if the Nemona are kicking our ass this hard, then I'd be a little bit concerned about the Witches too. That category is actually a game. People just have taken to using it for their own means. Okay. So I probably should look as to what just sleeping is then, because if it's not meant for people sleeping on stream, then I kind of am curious as what kind of game it would even be. It's like, what would you even do in a game like that? Is it like LSD simulator, where you're just going through a bunch of random dreamscapes? There we go, Nemona's done. I need to go to the next level. Let's get on that pipe, please. Thank you. Let's see here. Ragnarok Online Bathory. Kinda wish Twitch could clean some of that stuff up. I mean, it'd be nice if they could, I'm not gonna lie, but they're probably not going to make it the easiest thing in the world. Oh god, it's right at the beginning. So apparently the next level of the dungeon is there, which I don't think you can see. Actually, yeah, you can't see anything right now because we're still on the main screen view. Right? No, you're on the Ragnarok view. And then Wiggles is kind of blocking it too. But this portal down here... Dude. 12.3 for some lulls if we can, just because Frank's going to bed. I guess that's fair. We're kind of getting the memory leak in this anyways, so... Let's see here. Get that back. Order of operations. That needs to be muted. This needs to come back out. Grab controller kun, see if my muscle memory can actually work tonight. And before you forget you made a deck? Well, at least when it comes down to it, I'll probably still forget what the cards are. Good. There. Oh nice, there is someone who's actually streaming this too. Alright, man. Well, I hope you have actually got your stuff set up. Because apparently there are people paying attention to this tonight, and I don't exactly plan on fighting randos. Good. believe we're doing that deck. And I guess we won't necessarily know until I actually start hitting you, so... Of course we hit here. Alright, you do have the warp portal, don't you? Up. Alright, well we do have some leaves at the very least, so that's at least a start. Yeah, that makes sense. Nope. Your fireball actually ate me there. That's not good. Nope. Hmm. And yeah, those are grazable, which is always a problem. Hmm. Nope. Thought I'd be able to actually get rid of that, but nope. Up. That's really not a good response when you're doing your dashing shenaniganry, is it? Oh, right. Typhoon. Can't block in Typhoon. Shoot. Oh, I'm almost dead already because of that. Oh, that's so mean. Shoot. Hmm. Yeah, it makes... Oh, Jesus. Hmm. Why is that not? You know, that works. One of these days I'll actually get a clean round on you against Ibiki. But let's see if I can actually do better with that deck idea. Because I definitely wasn't cycling the best cards for it. Also, because Ibiki is just a close-range character anyways, having the leaves doesn't really help you that much over just your fangs, I think. Oh, why did I dash down into that? Ah, fuck. Hmm. What do I do against this? Can't keep doing that, obviously. Oh, that can hit you too. Hmm. Okay. Nope. One of these days I'll get you. Cute. Nope, needed to hold that for longer. Cute. Oh, the bounce just negates that. I hate that so much. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Ah. Noted, that actually has range. That never usually hits me, so I guess I never really noticed that. Alright. Ow. Aurora? Do we have Tempest going already? Oops. Nope. Nope. I'm sorry, did that slide dash really extend that far? You always use it up close, so I never actually get to see you use that from range. Hmm. Nope. Hmm. Nope. Hmm. Yeah, I can't use leaves against that anyways. Okay, noted. Fireballs beat leaves. So it's not the best poking tool unless one actually hooks around your fireballs. The chomp move leaves too much end lag, so if I can't hit you with it, there is not much reason in throwing it out in the first place. Up. And I kinda hate that ability, and I need to find a better way for you to not corner trap me with it. And those can run on the ground. Noted. Up. Yeah, that'll do it. And I can't do that super close, or else you can get away with something I don't like. Okay. Noted. Oh. Okay, good to know. That can reach across the screen. Up. Um, Yep, that's about right. Can't let you corner trap me either, because my block likes to die when I do that. And that apparently didn't do the move when I popped it out, so that's cool. Nope. And again, I can't let you do that fucking ankle biter bullshit. Why do I keep letting you get away with that? Brain, please. You can't let Omega keep going after your ankles. That's just a surefire way for you to lose 20%. Hey, Jasper. Welcome in. Good. That still hits the entire groundway. Doop. Here. Not getting the right moveset, which is not good. That makes sense that it hits above. Two. And that didn't do the move. Is there something I'm missing, Omega? Because sometimes it'll actually do the move of the card I'm using, but not always. And that part is admittedly getting a little frustrating. And I do see your comments, Jasper, but I don't fully agree. Oh. I need to start going to bed at a good time. I mean, wouldn't hurt, Kay. Need to get the aerial combos out of the way. Yep. That thing's hitbox just lasts forever. This game is too good. Good night. Well, it does seem like you're at least having fun with it, Kay, so enjoy your sleep. Hopefully, speaking, you can at least sleep decently well. Oh, wait. Hmm. Trying to get this card deck to actually work well. I guess I still need to just get used to the altered moveset, just that way I can actually throw it out at the right times. Definitely not helping the most. But I guess it is giving me ranged options, but... I'm missing my combos, which is making this a lot harder than it needs to be. And since I keep falling for the same tricks, it's not helping. And I'm guessing that version of the fireball is just too strong. Up. And wow, that creates so much end lag for me. Yeah, that seems right. Oh. Thank you, Maple Leaf Storm. Although you can still dash through that, so it's still not a perfect answer to anything. I was definitely blocking that, but okay. Oh. Hmm. One of these days I'll actually hit that. Because I know that would be able to knock you out of your thing, but I can just never aim it correctly. And that's being grazable, so I should never really be doing it while you're charging anyways. Because it's just gonna get me killed. Okay. So yeah, against Ibuki, this deck is proving to be mildly useless. The leaves are nice. Oh, well. Yeah, there's not much I can really do against Typhoon when I'm at 5 health. So yeah, against Ibuki, this is proving to not be that useful. Because if I can't hit you enough, I can't get any of my upgrades out. You'll get used to that. I'll get used to needing to get my ass kicked enough to figure out how the deck should work. Because in an effort to try and build a deck that at least gives me some ranged options, I either get my ass kicked in by a corner trap, which I'm always blocking, but the game never acknowledges that fact, or your ankle biter, which always breaks my guard, and I can't get out of that. Shoot. And that does not cancel out those fireballs when they actually go out, which I suppose is good to know. And the ankle biter into that. Which again, brain, stop letting him corner trap you. This is what gets you killed half the fucking time. And since that entire thing counts as a graze, and I can't block in the air, apparently. Cool. Shoot. So what do I do then, brain? Because apparently my neutral wasn't enough to break you out of yours, so... Alright, yeah, this is probably just gonna be my last game, Omega. I'm getting salty for no fucking reason at this rate. And I really don't want to be. Because I would like to just be able to play the game, but whenever I try doing a consistent strategy, the game doesn't let me do that. Yeah, I think that's enough for me tonight. This is just getting frustrating, and it really shouldn't be. Cute. That's fine. I'll figure it out eventually. Cute. Just a new deck, but it does not seem that fucking useful. Yeah, I'll just have to try it out more. It does not seem that useful if I just can't get the cards out, which I'm realizing at this point that's kind of the issue. That charge slide hits low. I'm aware. That still breaks my guard. I'm assuming it doesn't break my guard if I block low? Is that what you're trying to say? Because it definitely breaks your guard if you're blocking mid. Okay, so that's at least why it's consistently doing that then. Guess I'll have to keep that in mind for next time then. Cute. I think it does 2 orbs on rung block? Jesus. That's a bit much. Although that would explain the guard crushing this entire time. Anything else, feel free to throw it in Discord and I'll see what I can find out. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. And then the guard crush on big lows can be really ugly. Yeah, it can, because the guard crush just immediately slaughters me and lets you get a free melee combo in or whatever combo you'd want. Especially in a corner trap, which is just kind of disgusting anyways. Yeah, I know the catfish at least hits low. It causes the earthquake, just I guess I was just instinctively jumping over it the entire time. You play the character for memes and mix-ups? Fair. Considering it's just me and you, Omega, I'm just gonna end the stream, so have fun all. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.